Welcome to On Purpose Ministries, where we, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, help you, my brothers and sisters, find your purpose so you can live in purpose, walk with purpose, and do everything on purpose. I am your sister, Rashida. Okay, so this is part two to the word that I just released about your spouse. Please bear with me. It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm trying to get through these words, so just bear with me if I mess up anything. So this part is regarding your enemies, all of those who have come up against God's will for your life, those who have stood against what he has sent you out to do, those who try to make the Most High out to be a liar when we know that's not true at all, those who try to delay the promise or destroy your faith in it, those sent on a demonic assignment to keep you frustrated, irritated, distracted, and blinded from the truth, those who sow seeds of doubt and fear in your mind about what God told you he was going to do, those who cause you to question your relationship with God, question if you hear from God, and question everything that God has told you and has shown you. Now make no mistake, some people did it out of ignorance. They actually thought that they were doing the right thing. I'm not talking about those who were actually coming from a place of concern because they just didn't understand this journey. This message is not for them. You got your Peters and you got your Sauls. Now Peter meant no harm when he spoke against God's plans. He was concerned but still wrong. That's why he got rebuked. Same with the Peters in your life and in your spouse's life. They won't get punished, but they will receive a strong rebuke for interfering with God's plan. It will be a lesson for them to be mindful of what they speak and who they speak against. It will strengthen their faith and their walk and relationship with God. Everyone didn't mean you harm, but some did. And those are the people this word is concerning, especially those counterfeits who know they don't belong there. Now, every counterfeit is not a witch or a warlock. Every counterfeit did not mean evil at all. Some just actually thought that person was for them. That's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about those who have used all forms of sorcery to be with your spouse. They have done all sorts of evil, all sorts of spells, just full of wickedness. They have done everything they could think of to come up against you in this promise. They convinced others that you were the problem. They influenced others to turn their back on you, and the list goes on. This word is also for those family members and friends who stood against you, who have turned your spouse against you, who have caused confusion between you and your spouse, who have sowed discord. When Saul found out that David would replace him, he hated him since then. He sought out to take his life by any means necessary. He wanted him dead, and believe it or not, that's how some of these people feel about you. He wouldn't stop pursuing David, no matter how many times David spared him or not. He just wasn't until he got up out of here. So some people, that's how it has to be, because no matter how much you pray for them, no matter how much you try to do the right thing, they're so full of hate, envy, and jealousy to the point where these people are driven insane and really upset that you're still here, and by any means necessary, they want you gone. They have done all sorts of works and of darkness, and it didn't work. All forms of sorcery, and it didn't work. All of these spells and crafts, and it didn't work. For the longest, it seemed like God was okay with them being there. Like he was okay with them being around. Like he would never remove them or do anything about what they was doing. Like he was letting them get away with what they were doing to you because of what he sent you to do. Just like in the story of Esther, you have Haman or enemies, or your enemies will your Hamans or your enemies will hang by the gallows that they set for you. What they purpose to do to you will fall on their own heads. Haman didn't act alone. His wife and his friends helped him come up with the plans to kill Mordecai and the Jews, because he wouldn't bow to because Mordecai wouldn't bow to him. I'm not going to read the entire story, but let's get a few scriptures from it. So Esther 5, chapter 5, verse 14. It says, Then said Zeresh his wife and all his friends unto him, Let a gallows be made of 50 cubits high, and tomorrow speak thou unto the king, that Mordecai may be hanged thereon. Then go thou in merrily with the king unto the banquet, and into the banquet, and the thing pleased Haman, and he caused the gallows to be made. They went in full preparation mode to prepare for the death of Mordecai. The same with the Haman and his tribe concerning your union. They came prepared to see you fail, to destroy your spouse by any means necessary, to come up against this union by any means necessary, to stop the promises of God from coming to pass. But Mordecai had an Esther who God put in place. They were already steps ahead of them, just like God had put you in place to be steps ahead of them when all of their plans failed. God allowed Esther to have favor with the king, which saved Mordecai and the Jews. God is giving you favor where they don't have none. They won't be able to escape the judgment that the Most High God is setting forth against them. They won't get away with any of these things that they have done, that they have said. God is setting everything in place. So let's read some of Esther so you guys can see how God moves. You can read the whole book if you like, but we're going to read chapter 6. And forgive me if I pronounce any name wrong. I'm trying to get through it. Okay, so on the night, Esther chapter 6. On that night could not the king sleep, and he commanded to bring the book of records of the chronicles, and they were read before the king. And it was found written that Mordecai had told of Bigthana, I think that's how you pronounce it, and Teresh, two of the king's chamberlains, the keepers of the door, who sought to lay hand on the king Ahasuerus. And the king said, What honor and dignity has been done to Mordecai for this? Then said the king's servant that ministered unto him, There is nothing done for him. And the king said, Who is in the court? Now Haman was come into the outward court of the king's house to speak unto the king, to hang Mordecai on the gallows that he had prepared for him. And the king's servant said unto him, you see how God is interrupting the enemy's plan, how Haman came there prepared to hang Mordecai on the gallows, but he didn't even get a chance to even bring that up because he was interrupted. His plans were interrupted. Verse 5, and the king's servant said unto him, Behold, Haman standeth in the court. And the king said, Let him come in. Let him come in. So Haman came in, and the king said unto him, What shall be done unto the man whom the king delighteth to honor? Now Haman thought in his heart, To whom would the king delighted to do honor more than to myself? And Haman answered the king, For the man whom the king delighted to honor, let the royal apparel be brought which the king used to wear, and the horse that the king rideth upon, and the crown royal which is set upon his head. And let this apparel and horse be delivered to the hand of one of the king's most noble princes, that they may array the man withal, whom the king delighted to honor, and bring him on horseback through the street of the city, and proclaim before him, Thus shall it be done to the man whom the king delighted to honor. Then the king said to Haman, Make haste and take the apparel and the horse as thou hast said, and do even so to Mordecai the Jew. Can you imagine that? How he must felt in that moment, how he told the king to do all of these great things because he thought he was going to be the one to receive it. But the person that he thought to do evil towards was the one to receive all of the things that he thought he would receive. So Do it's back to reading. Do even so to Mordecai the Jew that sitteth at the king's gate. Let nothing fail of all that thou hast spoken. King said, you do everything that you said that you just spoke to me, you do it for Mordecai. I can only imagine in that moment how he felt. Then took Haman the apparel and the horse and arrayed. Look at this. He had to take this stuff to the man that he wanted dead. He had to face him. Then took Haman the apparel and the horse and arrayed Mordecai and brought him on horseback through the street of the city and proclaimed before him, thus shall it be done unto the man whom the king delighted to honor. And Mordecai came again to the king's gate, but Haman hasted to his house mourning, and having his head covered. He was in shame. He was embarrassed. All this stuff he thought to do, it failed. And not only that, but he had to honor the man he wanted dead because he didn't honor him. And Haman told Zeresh, his wife, and all his friends everything that had befallen him. Then said his wise men and Zeresh his wife unto him, if Mordecai be of the seed of the Jews, before whom thou hast begun to fall, thou shalt not prevail against him, but shall surely fall before him. I just want to read the end part again. If Mordecai be of the seed of the Jews, before whom thou hast begun to fall, thou shalt not prevail against him, but shall surely fall before him. And while they were yet talking with him, came the king's chamberlains and hasted to bring Haman unto the banquet that Esther had prepared. You see, the Father was in it from the beginning. Even though you couldn't see it, even though it didn't feel like it, he had it all planned out. Your enemies will fall before you. As you read along, you see that what Haman purposed to do to Mordecai and the Jews fell on his own head. Not only that, but his 10 sons were killed. The same way he was killed. The same thing that he purposed to do to Mordecai. It fell on him 10 times worse, because not only was he hanged by the gallows, but his 10 children, his 10 sons were also. Esther chapter 7 verse 10. So they hang Haman on the gallows that he had prepared for Mordecai. Then was the king's anger pacified. Everything Haman planned against them was reversed and fell on him. The same thing is about to happen with you and those Hamans that stood up against you, and those who were in agreement with Haman, those who helped Haman plan and plot. Everything they meant for evil, God is about to turn it around for your good. He's taking them out. He's clearing the land, and he's rebuilding it on a solid foundation. Your enemies will fall suddenly, and when people see it, they will say, this is the hand of God. God will not let up until they give up. Your enemies will be defeated. Right now, just like Haman thought that everything was all good, that's how your enemies feel right now. They think everything is all good, that everything is going according to plan, that everything is working in their favor. But they will soon find out, like Haman did, that the pit they dug for you, they will soon fall in. The tables are turning, and everything they afflicted on you, everything they done towards you, everything they spoke about you and against you, they're about to feel it 10 times worse. Vengeance is mine, says the Most High God. God is doing it. Just stay out of his way and make sure your heart is pure. Don't rejoice at the destruction of others, but rather rejoice because God's will has been done and the enemy has lost. And is another victory for the kingdom of the Most High God. So that's it for this word. Your enemies will hang by the gallows that they have prepared for you. God is getting them out of the way. Their time in your land is officially up. He is about to get them up out of there. So keep going, stay focused, and be encouraged, and know that what they meant for evil, God has turned it around for your good. Shalom.